Hello there and welcome back to the Family Collective. It's Neal and Diane, and we're going to talk about a really hot topic today, fighting. We're going to talk about fighting. As a marriage counselor, I am continually surprised by the couples that come in to see me that are the complete opposites. They were raised in complete opposite ways. They have complete opposite personalities, and they do things very differently. And one of those is fighting.
I remember panicking after our first fight. I think it was on our honeymoon. I thought, oh no.
For those of you who are getting married, remember that. Sometimes even our honeymoons can be stressful.
Are we going to be able to get along? I'd never seen a fight growing up with my parents. They would go to another room. It's not that they didn't fight. It's just they never fought, or they didn't raise their voice necessarily while we were around.
Yeah.
And so I never had an understanding for how normal it was for people to disagree and to do so passionately.
Yeah. So when we got into our first fight, Neal had the habit of backing up, yes, and not being there. And my family more would confront things head on, that they were kind of ready to spar per se. But what we learned was through research, through our own trial and errors, is that couples will fight. I mean, there are statistics out on everything, and there's one out on this. How many times that you will fight in a given month or in a given year, and how many of those are going to be kind of what we call those World War III, get-togethers. It's to be expected that there's going to be disagreements in your marriage. But what we do want, or we want you to understand that we learned, it's important to repair those fights, and how quickly and how well you repair, that determines the health of your marriage.
Yeah. And I think it's one of the most important or memorable things that I learned early on in our marriage. Of course, we learn to be very careful with our words and our tempers.
Right.
Anger is a part sometimes of our communication, but there need to be boundaries with what our actions are. And sometimes we need to take a timeout. We call them adult timeouts.
Yeah.
Through the years, we've learned that there needs to be a balance between feeling heard, but also respecting one another enough to manage our elevated tone and our need to hurt the other person sometimes during those fights.
Right. So if you want to improve the health of your marriage, we ask you to think about this week. What ways can you fight fair? If you're not fighting fair right now, what ways can you fight fair? And what can you do, just yourself, not what can your spouse do, but what can you do to repair more quickly?
I will if she does.
Thank you for being with us again. We are Neal and Diane. You can find us at the Family Collective, www.familycollective.co. And this is a place where marriages, families are there to engage, equip, and connect.
Yes.
Blessings.
Thank you for joining us.